Hi everyone, Linda here from Gunlut Lane Wearable Art Jewellery. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be making a pair of earrings. They're quite simple. There's like a little bit involved, but the design is actually quite a simple one. And this is the one we're going to be making. So I'll hold that up a little bit closer so you can see. It's three tiers, and it's like a little leaf pattern or feather pattern, whichever way you want to look at it, on our ear wire. I'm going to be making today's in copper. I left earlier in the video what size copper you need and what tools you need and all that sort of stuff back there. So we're going to start off with, I'm going to make this one in, as I said, in copper, 22 gauge in this, this one, bare copper wire. So we're going to start off by warming up our wire. I've got my rubber nose pliers here. I'm just going to straighten that and warm it up. And we're going to cut off 11 centimeters, which is, let me have a look here, about 4 1/4 inches would be 11 centimeters. So about 4 1/4 inches. We're going to flush cut the end, so grab your flush cutters. Just flush cut that end off like that. Grab my tape measure. And we're going to measure our 11 centimeters. Cut that. Okay, just get that straightened out a little bit more. I'm going to grab my round nose pliers, and I've got them marked here. You can see that. And I'm going to come down about 3.5 centimeters. Yeah, 3.5 centimeters, which would be about 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to measure that now, 3 centimeters. My eye's usually pretty good with centimeters, pretty close there. There we go, 3 centimeters. And we're just going to bend that wire, just straight back like that. Now we're going to come in with our flat nose pliers. I'm just going to grab the end of it, like that. I'm just going to give that a squeeze. So just the very tip of it. And just take it in as far as what you want to take it. And then I like to turn it over because you always get one side that's got a little bit more of a bend than the other. And I'm just going to give that a little squeeze. Just like that. Then I'm going to grab my 6-step pliers. I'm going to open that wire up. And I'm going to choose the 1, 2, 3, third biggest one. So you've got 1, 2, and then 3. I'm going to pop that on there like that over the top, and I'm going to scoot that down, pushing it down towards the end that we flattened, just like that. Then I'm going to bring these wires around. Try and hold this in a better position so you can see. Bring these wires around and just cross them over each other. Just like that. Oh, my mat keeps slipping everywhere. I've got a grippy thing underneath it, but it doesn't work very well. Sorry. So that's what it should be looking like that. And then I'm just going to grab my flat nose pliers and grab the end of this one here, right at that where it's crossing over, and just bend it back a little bit like that. I'm going to take that off there. My flat nose pliers, I'm grabbing that right there near where it crosses, like that. Actually turn this over, it's easier for me to wrap it from the other side. We want them going at right angles like that. Then I'm going to grab my bent chain nose pliers here. And going to wrap this around. So just doing half turns. Oops. Oops, sorry, jiggling the camera there. Okay. I'm going to take that little burr off with my cutters. And then with my flat nose pliers, I'm going to turn this around first so I can grab hold of it better. And just flatten that burr by twisting it and flattening it at the same time. It doesn't want to flatten for me today. If I straighten that up a bit, it might work. There we go, I can't feel that now. Okay, now here, you can either hammer this if you want to or not. I'm going to just use my rubber mallet. You can do this all at the same time if you want to, but wait until you have them all made and then do them all at the same time. And I'm just going to, just for a bit of strength on it, but you could hammer this because it's copper. You could hammer it with your chasing hammer, and you would get a different effect on the end of it then. Okay, now I've got some, these are 8/0 Picasso seed beads, so I'm just going to put a couple of those out. I'll need some more in a minute. I'm going to pick up 2 of those. These are in the dark blue. Pop those on like that. Grabbing my round nose pliers. I'm going to make sure I'm going to come up far enough on here that I've got enough room to wrap 3 times above it. So about there, I've got my mark here on my pliers, but I'm coming up past it to make sure there's enough room. So then I'm going to bend my wire back, reposition my pliers, and now I want to come down to my mark. I don't want a huge big loop on it, so I'm coming down to the inside of that mark and wrapping around, repositioning, bringing the wire to the back, like that. making sure I've got a nice loop there, which I do. Grabbing my flat nose pliers. And maybe I shouldn't have cut 11 centimetres. I might next time, yeah, the next one I'll go a little bit less on that and see. I've got too much wire here. Don't have to waste wire if we don't need to. Okay, around 3 times. My cutters. Cutting that in nice and close. You use your flat nose or your bent nose pliers, whichever ones you prefer to use, and just tap that end down. Okay, that's our first leaf made. So I'll do that one more time. My 22 gauge wire. I'm just sitting here thinking how much I should cut off for this one, see if it works. And grabbing my cutters, I'm just going to flush cut that end. And I think I might try this time, just so we can save wire. I might go about 9.5 centimetres, just to be on the safe side. So 9.5 centimetres would be just a little bit short of 4 inches. So we'll see how we go. Okay, I'm still going to come down the same 3 centimetres. 3.5. What was it? 3.5, I think. 3.5 centimetres. Just grabbing that, bending it back. So we have a hairpin bend there. Grabbing my flat nose pliers and just bending that end in, squashing that end in like that. Turn it over so we get the same on both sides, the same look. Then grabbing my 6-step pliers, the 3rd size on my pliers, opening that up a little bit so you can fit it in there. And pushing that down. And just bending them around. You can close your pliers to hold on to it. Just getting the shape that you like. Grabbing your flat nose pliers right where it crosses and just bend it up like that. Goodness, get up over there. Okay, you can take it off your pliers now. Holding that end, bringing a wire out so it's at a 90-degree angle. Grabbing another pair of pliers. And wrapping that around. Two and 3. Okay, Okay, taking off that tail. And giving that, where's it gone? There it is. Just going to push those a bit closer together. And giving that a bend in. Just tapping down that burr. There we go. So picking up 2 of our Picasso 80 beads. Finding the place on my pliers, just past my mark there, giving that a bend, coming down to my mark, just to the inside of that mark, bending up and over, repositioning, and making our loop. Grabbing our flat nose pliers, making sure again that we've got a 90-degree angle. And doing our 3 wraps. Cutting off the tail. And tapping it down. Making sure you don't catch your bead. You don't want to break it. Okay, that's number 2. I'll hammer them all at the end. I might as well do the last one. So I've got my 22 gauge. Where'd I put it? I'll do it one more time for you, and we can put the earring together. So I'll go a bit faster on this one, hopefully. Taking that burr off the end of that, straightening my wire. This is also work hardening it as well, so it's taking it from dead soft wire to a half hard. Okay, just measuring again. You can do all your measuring at the one time, like at the same time. Would make this a lot easier, but I wasn't intending on making 3 of them. So, okay, we've got our 9.5 centimeters. I'm just going to eyeball this one, come down 3.5 centimeters. That there, bend it up. So we've got a hairpin. Grabbing our pliers and squishing down that end. Our 6-step pliers. Straighten that end up a bit there. I got a little bit out of whack. Okay, just pushing that down. Closing the ply. Oops, sorry, pushing it. I was pushing this down. Here I was off camera then. And close your pliers. And just cross those over. Like that. Grabbing our flat nose pliers. Just giving it a bend there. excuse me. Flatten those pliers again, 90-degree angle. I'm grabbing another pair of pliers. I've got this around the wrong way for me. Turn that over and wrap. Okay, taking off that tail. Still a little bit sharp there. Okay, that's better. Picking up 2 of the 80C beads. Grabbing our round nose pliers. Oh, that's not sitting very nicely there on the end. Sorry. I'm just going to straighten that up a bit. Flatten that back in again, that's better. Okay, my 2 beads. Around those pliers, just up a little bit from my mark there on my pliers. Bending the wire over, moving down. Excuse me, please. I'm so sorry. I didn't do that loop very well. Gee. I think I might have missed a step that I was supposed to do. Let me undo that. Just take a drink here, sorry. Okay, where's my, there we go. I'm just going to straighten this wire up. So if you make a boo-boo like that, you can fix it. Don't waste your wire. Obviously wasn't concentrating. So I'm coming down past my mark on my pliers, bending it backwards, moving up to, that's what I did wrong, moving up to my mark. I'm on top of my wire now. I wasn't on top of my wire before, that's why I didn't get a neck. Bending it over and coming around. There we go, so that's much better. Flat nose pliers, grabbing that loop, another pair of pliers, whatever you've got. Okay, cutting off that tail. Squishing it down. Okay, now these ones I'm going to hammer these last 2 because I didn't do those. Turning it over, doing the other side. Okay, so we finished hammering those leaves or feathers, whichever one you want them to be. So now we're going to move on to the posts. I've already made some for the second earring that we're going to put together. So we're going to need 3 that look like this. Okay, so 22 gauge wire again. We're going to flush cut the end of that. And I'm going to work that wire. Once again, hardening it, making it half hard. So I'm doing this a few times. I want it to be quite firm. Okay, now grabbing your ruler or tape measure, whatever you've got, we need a piece of 3 centimeters. Flush cutters. We've got 3 centimeters. Flush cut that end again. Then we need 4 centimeters. Flush cut that end again. And 5 centimeters. Okay, now what that is in inches, 3 is about 1 1/4 inches. 4 centimeters is 1 and, what is that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths. They're 5 or, yeah, 5 eighths. And 5 centimeters is about 2 inches. Okay, I've just got to stop this for a second and grab a tissue. Okay, I'm back. All right, so we've got our 3 pieces. We want those nice and as straight as you can possibly get them. That one's got a bit of a bend in it. Okay, then we're going to grab our round nose pliers. And on the mark that I've marked here, I'm coming to the inside of the mark. You can see that. So the end closest up to this end here. We don't want our wire, be able to feel our wire. So we're just going to bend that over all the way, like that. Placing our pliers back in and giving it a bend. If it opens up again, just close it. Then on the other end, we're going to make our loop go in the opposite way. So mine's coming down at the moment, so we're going to go up to the top. Again, so you can't feel it. And making our loop. And then just bending that back as well to get it nice and straight. So it should be looking like that. So that. Okay, we're going to do that to the other ones as well. So I'll do those off camera and I'll come back when I've done that. Okay, I've got those 3 done. So what I've done on these ones here is I actually hammered these with the metal hammer. So I'm going to do the same on these ones, but just very lightly. I'm just giving them a tap, just just on the one side. Hopefully you can hear how lightly I'm doing that. It's more like the hammer's just falling on the wire. I'm not bashing it or anything, just a light fall like that. Okay, put that out of the way. Okay, now we're going to do the ear wire, and then we'll put them together. So I need a piece of 20 gauge wire. Where have I got that hiding? Oops, I just have to reach for that. I didn't bring it over with me. Yeah, 20 gauge. So you need about 2 inches. Once again, flush cut. So just measure out your 2 inches. Grabbing our round nose pliers. Right on that mark, and I'm just going to make a loop and bend that loop back. I'm just showing you this ear wire because it's a little bit different. I'm grabbing 2 beads. Come out. Oop. Do you want to get 4? And I'm popping those onto the wire like that. And I'm going to grab a piece of, I've got a piece of 26 gauge wire. You can use 28 if you don't have 26. We're just going to make a little coil. So I've just got a piece like that. I'm coming from behind, my 26 gauge wires behind. I've got a little tail there to hold on to. And I'm just going to wrap 3. I've got 3 going there. Push those together. 4, 5, and 1 more. And just pulling that last one nice and tight. And I want to get them together nice and tight as well. Now you can twist this off if you can get it. My hands have been a little bit weak because I haven't been making any jewellery for the last few weeks, so I can't actually do it. So I'm going to cut this. I prefer to twist it because you don't get any sharp bits. You could do it easily with a 28 gauge, but 26 is a little bit firmer wire. So I'm bringing that down to the end. I'm just going to grab my flat nose pliers. Bring those in a bit closer. And I'm tucking that end in. I'm giving the whole coil a bit of a twist here to make it nice and tight. Hopefully tight anyway. Okay, then I'm going to grab my 6-step pliers. And I'm going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one. So this one on this side here. I'm going to give this a little kink first. So just a little kink back like that. on my pliers. Oops, wrong way around. Get it the right way, Linda. And I'm just wrapping that wire around. Just like that. So it should look like that now. And I'm just going to measure it up with my other one to make sure I've got them both the same size. It's easy if you make both of these at the same time, but I couldn't do that for demonstration purposes. Okay, they're pretty even. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit off this one. There we go. And then I'm just going to shape with my finger, just shaping that. Oop. Shaping that wire. And giving it a little turn on the end. Just like that. And then using a nail file or a cut burr or a diamond file, whatever you've got, just take the burr off the end of that. You don't want it to be sticking in anybody's ear and making them bleed. So just taking off the rough edges. It doesn't take very long, you can feel it, it's nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to give this a hammer as well with my rubber. You can use your metal hammer if you want to make it look a little bit different by hitting up this end here and just flattening around there. But I'm just going to hammer the whole lot, my rubber hammer. On both sides. Okay, so that's all our pieces, I think. I'm pretty sure we've got everything here. So I'm just going to grab these. It doesn't matter which order you put them in. So I'll start with the little one. I'm going to move this out of the way and find my bent nose pliers. I'm just opening that loop up, popping on a leaf, closing that right up, and doing the next one. That one needs a little bit more of a close, so I'm just going to grab my flat nose pliers and close that up. And then the last one here. Okay, now we're just going to put it together. Opening this loop up on my ear wire. Now this depends how putting these together. I always like the longest one coming down next to your neck. So I'm going to put the longest one on first, then the medium. Oops, get back on there. Then the medium size, and then the short side. We're going to close this loop back up, get your beads out of the way, hold on to them. Get that in there nice and tight. And that's our earring. Now, haven't finished making these ones here. I intended on doing that in the video. So if you had the 3 of these and then you were putting them together, so you've got the long one on that side there, then you would make sure that you've got the long one, your medium one, and your shorter one going onto your ear hook the opposite way, so that they mirror each other, so that when the pet wearer is wearing them, you've got the longest one next to your face. That's how it should be. And I'll straighten that up a little bit. That's a bit out of whack there. But that's our earring. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'd like to say thank you to everybody for all your well wishes and beautiful words and comforting prayers and whatever you sent me over the last week or so with the passing of my mother. Yeah, very, very sad time for me, even though, as I did say, she had dementia and she really hadn't been my mum for quite a few years, but still the fact that she's not here at all anymore and I can't see her, or even though I talked to her, she couldn't really talk to me. It was just nice to know she was there. So I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for that. It's you don't know how much it really meant to me. All right, everybody, next video coming up. I've got another chain link for you, but this is a really cool one. I think you're going to love it. So I'll see you all in that video. Everybody take care and hug the people that you love, because you don't know how long they're going to be there for. All right, everyone. Bye. Have a good one. See ya.